So this is about my psychologist appointment yesterday and my situation, as you know from the last video, being a mess. So this is about not reacting like a 6-year-old girl, or let's say a 12-year-old girl. No, 6 to 12-year-old girl. It makes perfect sense to me now, as I was talking with my psychologist, because that's all I know emotionally. Because my mother had a mentality of a 6-year-old girl, even into her 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And while I was growing up and going into school, that's how I would act. Like, I'd be the one to act if something was bothering me. I would be the one that would sit in the cupboard at the front of the class and not let anyone open it up, and everyone would know I'd be there. I'd also be the one that would sit in the garbage pail at the front of the class and not move when something wasn't going right. So that's kind of all I knew. And and I guess it all goes into if someone is hurting my feelings or something like that. So, without even knowing the situation, I guess. So that makes perfect sense that that's how I would act now with this Facebook situation, which is no longer. Sorry, Facebook, I meant Instagram. It's no longer. So, me going to psychologists at a high of wanting to not live anymore, was what was culminating throughout the day before, and then culminated to yesterday when I actually got to the psychologist, and I'm like, oh, okay, good, I'm in the States, so then let him have it. So, it was, the trick is to be able to see how a mature man would deal with something as opposed to a 6-year-old girl. Now, one of the things I said, he said, that's a way to deal with it too. And I said, I could just say, no, fuck those bitches. They're crazy bitches, and just leave them alone. It has nothing to do with me. It wasn't all women. I think it was a man or two. But bitches is bitches, right? So, yeah, so that's where I have to work on a lot. How I deal with when I'm triggered, because everything else kind of spirals after that. The headache, it's also from the lack of caffeine, but I didn't have headaches from lack of caffeine for the past couple of weeks, so my state added to it. So that's what I want to work on. Why? I mean, I've done it so many times before. Stop doing things because of the way I was perceived people were treating me. Now, it looked like the thing is, it always looks like I have it together. because nowadays. So this is the case in my head. You know, I stopped diving competition. I didn't go to Jewish high school. I stopped many things because of that. So, and I stopped YouTube because of that. You know. It's a struggle right this moment, obviously. Instagram, like my other Instagram account, my fitness one. It's a struggle when something doesn't go well and I react like a 6-year-old and I'm like, okay, I have to stop it, but no, I don't. So I'm trying to figure out ways to keep doing it while I'm in this state to kind of get out of it, because it's not an option to stop if you want things to develop online. You know, I just lost my train of thought. It's not an option. Oh yeah, because he was also saying, I could choose to not put up things that are controversial. Well, if I do that, then I don't know how to deal when people get in a ruckus. And when it does happen, for whatever reason, I'll be, you know, obliterated. So I think it's better to just put up what I feel I want to put up, and even if it's not what I feel like putting up, if I do it by accident, to deal with the situation. And I think now that I've seen the situation, the first exposure of it, I realized that, you know, even Wonder Woman, who has a blank profile on Instagram, afterwards she just started liking some of the posts again. So I don't even know if it was directed at me. It was just like, I think what I was shown is that something gets controversial, people debate about it, causes a, you know, an obvious hoopla, and then it goes away. Now, it doesn't always go away, you know, because there's Roseanne, but that's part of what it is, you know. And I can't have my whole day always affected by something like that that's external, you know? That's the thing. I have to have a stronger sense of self. This is the funny thing. Back when things were good, I was told that I had a strong sense of self. Go figure, I was told this. Here you go. Again, externalizing everything. I was also told once, these are situations years apart, oh, you're like me, you do something once you see someone else doing it and you kind of catch on. And so I registered those as me. When it's like, no, they don't know me. I don't even know me. So it's like, depending on other people to make me happy is not a good thing. This is a funny thing, because I was going to another therapist, which is a different approach, not a psychologist. And she's like, well, you know, you need like, validation from people and love, but see, it's contradicting approaches or techniques or methods. But what I do believe, I need to know who I am, and I do need validation, but I should have a strong sense of self that if I don't get it, I can do it for myself, otherwise I can't function. So I have to be able to function to be able to move ahead. Now, speaking of functioning, my phone is on the blitz, the touch screen, so I have to deal with that. Just thought I'd say that just because I do everything on the phone now. It cuts, my time is more, there's more time spent on the phone because I can't, the touchscreen doesn't work, so I have to find other ways to circumvent that. Or I can't do everything because I can't press certain tabs or whatever. So, yeah, that's it for today.